What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Smith, and this is my last communication with the outside world for the next 40 days. As of tomorrow morning, I'm going to be eating, sleeping, and drumming, and that's it for the next 40 days. I got this idea, I don't even know how many years ago, when I read Mickey Hart's book, Drumming at the Edge of Magic. And in it, he talked about Zakir Hussain, who's an insane tabla player, huge inspiration of mine, and how they're in their culture of tabla playing, when the student is ready to become a master, they go up upon the hill where they do nothing but eat, sleep, and drum for 40 days. And in his tradition, he was visited by the spirits of the masters that came before him, and all of that. I don't come from a tradition of master drummers, so I have no expectations on that level. But ever since I read that, this is something that I've definitely wanted to do, and this is the time. I just finished the tour being a drummer for Blue Man Group with the North American tour. Had a great time doing that for the last almost entire year, and saved up basically just enough money to allow myself this little chunk of time where I can afford to do this. So that's what I'm doing, and a huge thanks to my parents who are allowing me to do this in their home, and they're taking care of my food as a birthday present to me. They're going to be taking care of my food the entire time. I'm not going to be communicating or speaking with them. We have a little system of communication worked out where I'll be leaving notes, and if I need anything in particular, my mom will be delivering food to me, unless, of course, they might be going away because I might drive them crazy, so they might end up going to some other people's houses, or my uncle has a cabin up in the woods to where they could go and get some peace and quiet, because 40 days of drumming would probably drive just about anybody insane. But my parents are cool enough to let me do this in their house, so I'm extremely grateful to them. I'm very grateful to my wife and son, who are very understanding in me wanting to do this, and it's time that I'm taking away from them, being away from them, and I'm very grateful for them for allowing me to do this as well. It's going to be crazy. I have no idea really what I'm getting into. I've tried to make preparations, and obviously I don't know, this is something that's almost impossible to prepare for. I had my drums shipped up here, I had equipment with me, and as far as that goes, I'm about as prepared as I could be. There's a few things I forgot, and like I ordered some brushes from Amazon, and they'll be shipped here, so my mom will deliver those to me when they get here. I really, kind of am standing on the brink of a total unknown thing, because I've never spent this much time completely isolated from the outside world, never spent this much time practicing, but I feel like I got to do it. Now's the time. Just something that I've always wanted to do, and this is it. So there's so much to even talk about, like what I'm going to be working on. One of the main things that I'm going to be working on is just developing effortlessness in my playing, and really trying to open up my inner space, so that I'm playing from that space rather than playing from busy mind. because I've witnessed this in other players. I've witnessed other players being able to play, and it's just simply like music is coming through them. But it's kind of happening effortlessly, and it's almost like they've tapped into something larger than themselves. So I've always been kind of able to tell when that's happening, but have had small glimpses of it when I'm playing, where stuff is just happening, and I'm just kind of there, like letting it come out. But when I say small, I usually mean like it's a couple of seconds, and then my mind jumps back in, and it becomes a thinking process again. So I'm really trying to get away from the thinking process, for many different reasons. One, physically having just turned 40, my body's starting to show some signs of wear and tear from being a drummer for so long. Just tightened muscles and a cyst that I have on my wrist, and tight hips, and all these other little things that aren't debilitating right now, but at 40 I still want to be drumming when I'm 80, so I got to start taking steps to do what I can to prevent myself from going down the wrong road, going down a road of deterioration. And I've been cleaning up my diet and stuff like that. But I realized largely, I had the realization within the last year or so that I'm activating the stress response when I play. So the stress response being that fight or flight, and that's when muscles tense up, and your breathing becomes shallower, and and you're putting adrenaline into your system, which kind of will get you pumped up and get you through stuff. But it's like constantly hitting the gas on an engine and never hitting the brakes, and never giving your engine a break. Whereas I think there's a different way to play when the internal mind space is relaxed, that then the physical body will be relaxed as well, which will allow me to play for a longer time, play with the power that I want, but at the same time not be taxing physically on my body. So that's two of my big reasons to do it. Obviously, there's just the mechanical stuff, better foot technique, better hand technique, things like that, better timing. I've designed a series of timing exercises that I'm going to be working on, and different smaller techniques that are inherent within certain beats, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I have 40 days, so I'm going to be working on those things. But I want to begin working on those things from a place of that kind of inner space, so that my mind is clear when I'm working on them, and I'm working in the most efficient manner. So my approach for the very first several days is just going to be really basic, just getting back to kind of ground zero and looking at how I'm playing, and is it the most efficient way? Am I relaxed when I'm doing it? Am I trying to get more out of the stick rather than just allowing the sound to come? Things like that. So we'll see how this whole thing goes. Like I said, I've never done it before. I don't know personally anybody who's done it. I've only read about it in a book, and I know that I learned very recently that the event is, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, if it's a Chila or a Chilla, but it's spelled Chilla, and that's the term that's used in the tabla tradition, tabla from India. You can look it up online, and you'll find the definition on Wikipedia and stuff, or get Mickey Hart's book, which is a cool book too. Um, yeah, so let me take a second and show you guys around my space here. This is the second story of my parents' house. They put me up here for the week and really kind of made it a nice space for me. Yeah, I'll show you around. Alright, so here's the drums. Like I said, I had those shipped up from Orlando. This is my 1966 Ludwig kit that I bought for $100 and put $150 worth of parts into. My cymbals. I got some mirrors set up so I can check my posture and my technique as I play. Got my little MacBook Pro set up with a little mixer and the Apogee 1 going in and go running through Reason on the computer. Let's see, that's a little log drum that my dad made. I was tuning up. I got a bunch of sticks, drum pad. This right here is my granddad. And this word, Basierlo, is a word that came to me in a dream when I was in California on tour with Blue Man. And all defenses are down, healing communion through drumming, gratitude towards everybody. That's what came to my mind when I woke up and felt like I needed to write down that word and wrote down that as a definition. So hopefully that's what's going to be happening here. This is a little, it's a printout actually of a watercolor that I did. It's kind of some stuff in drumming that I want my drumming music to envelop or to contain. This is what I'm going to be looking at as I play. It has some pictures of not all the drummers that have been influences to me, but quite a few. At the very top left here is Zakir Hussain, the guy who I heard about this whole Chilla concept from. Right there's my son Tayo, because of his freedom whenever he plays music. Bonzo, the great John Bonham, Alex Van Halen, the great Airto, Jeff Watts, Art Blakey, Mitch Mitchell, Andy Newmark, Tony Allen, the drummers of Kodo, Tony Williams, Stuart Copeland. There's another one of John Bonham in action. Dave Grohl, Ringo Starr, Steve Gadd, Dave Weckl, the new Weckl, Jerome Braley, and of course James Gatson. And the guy who started it all, Animal, he was the reason that I played drums in the first place, because my early childhood was watching the Muppets, and he was the coolest one. Then let go of all desires and focus on love. There's a quote from the book that I've been reading, Effortless Mastery. There's my beautiful wife and child going to be smiling at me as I'm playing here. Some other quotes for me to kind of keep in mind as I'm going through this week, 40 days. Got some other drums I might tune up for like some Brazilian percussions type stuff. An exercise ball that I'll probably just be using right before I go to bed. I like to lay backwards over these things to kind of stretch out my back and release all the muscles in my back. There's my bed. That's the entrance to the room. We got some soundproofing up on the door to help keep my parents a little bit sane. I got a pretty cool little setup over here. I got like a little fridge, some waters, a little toaster oven, and a bunch of other food. It's a little calendar for my 40 days over there. This room also has a bathroom. So, yeah, let's see, there's the bathroom. A little dark. Yeah, that's it. So, this is kind of a leap of faith for me, trying to get away from the book learning, how I started to learn music, and getting more into the heart of music itself. So, wish me luck. I will be in communication with the rest of the world after the 40 days are done. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you soon.